So we're starting here today because it's the snowball viburnum that's getting ready to come into bloom, but for another reason, which I will demonstrate to you here shortly. But Stuart, as I am walking around, why don't you show people your feet and the area that we are having to walk over, very treacherous, to get to where we're going. And pretty soon, this will be completely transformed.
Only some giant holes.
And it won't be quite so precarious very shortly.
Couple holes.
So I've talked about this beautiful Magnolia Ann. I've decided where I am going to put it. And I don't know if it will really mean much to you right now. Oh, I guess, Stuart, we should show the little tulips in bloom behind you.
Oh, okay, I'll turn.
They're still growing. Don't fall into the hole.
I know, it's like, I'll fall.
So I do have a little bit of tulip color.
Oh, those are pretty. I didn't even notice them. That's crazy.
But Stuart, what I am missing this spring, I think I'm gonna make up for this summer.
Yeah, you could say that.
Because I've got something really, really exciting that we're gonna plant in the front in profusion that I'm hoping will look spectacular up here on the hill. So be careful.
Okay.
With
to the flagstone.
Your footwork.
Man, it looks good.
And I think I did a little video that I took without you of how I was starting to prune some of the people, my darlings in the Boxwood village. So what you can see probably most dramatically is that I have temporary fencing up around my porch and the sidewalk leading down to the public sidewalk, and it's looking beautiful, if I do say so myself.
We're gonna make a pit stop.
It's got a sealer on it, and we can't walk on it for a week, but the color is amazing, and it will get only more beautiful over time as it ages. So I think it's pretty spectacular. I wish you could, in person it looks, I don't know that the light is really capturing the color of it, but the color is absolutely beautiful and segues so nicely into the public sidewalk. So the color is going to be just fabulous, especially as it ages. And we made sure that it would look good along with the flagstone and the brick as it continues to age. So I got an update today, and there will be a window box delivered tomorrow. And I'm not going to reveal what color the window box is going to be. Great deliberation, and I think most of you so very beautifully expressed why both options would be possible and the various pros and cons of each option. And in the big reveal, kind of like a gender reveal, Stuart, tomorrow I'll reveal what color I decided on. And this will probably get planted straight away.
Yeah, tell me what color and I'll go fill up a balloon that we can pop.
Well, yeah, really. Yeah, but I hate all that little confetti stuff to have to pick it up. So we'll reveal that tomorrow, and this will get planted straight away because I can't really put any of my pots up on the porch just yet. That will take some time, but I can start planting, and we're actually going to start over on this side. We're going to start the dirt work, and then I can start planting some.
What is dirt work?
Dirt work. That is, we're going to start amending this soil, take off the remainder of the grass. Obviously, we'll watch for rain and such, but we'll be able to add soil amendments to this. We'll be taking a soil test to see if anything in addition to just compost and other organic matter needs to be added, but we'll be doing that with our darling Phoebe here probably on Monday, I think, so that we know what we're working with. But the evergreens, I think we're going to go ahead and start installing those. So by evergreens, I mean some of the hollies, some of the boxwood. So in short order, we'll be able to do that. Some of you, well, one person in particular seems very concerned that this patio is too small. And actually, I don't want a huge patio in my front yard. I want a nice sized patio. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 with a small table. I could easily add another couple of chairs here. You okay, Stuart?
Yeah, about
Stuart
fell,
just fell into a hole. Another couple of chairs here. So this will be more than sufficient. And if I got much larger, the scale of the patio to the cottage would be off, not only from up here close to the cottage, but from the back. But I appreciate your concerns and the rationale behind your argument that it needs to be a little bit bigger. If I have large, really large gatherings, that will take place in the back, where there will be a lot more space for a much larger table and many more chairs. So that will be in the future as we begin to design that. Now, Stuart, what am I excited about today?
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to let you tell them because it's going to be more fun, but I do know the answer.
So later today, there's going to be a huge truck from Plant Development Services that's going to be coming out with a huge, I started to say boatload, but a truckload of plants from Southern Living Plants, from Encore Azalea. I think the Better Boxwood are arriving in a separate shipment. But I'm pretty excited
They're
about
all
that.
headed this way.
Yes. Let me answer a couple of questions. Some of you were wondering, so what's going to happen with the rest of this brick? Well, if I haven't already told you ad nauseum, there'll be a brick row that will run up and down the sidewalk, just like I had at my
former on the edge. I didn't get turned around,
house.
So
yes.
Make sure they can see.
And I also want to address, today's my day, I guess, to answer some viewer questions or concern. A couple of people said, well, I thought you wanted a completely different style of garden, and this very much looks like the style of garden that you already had. And that's very true. And it's because I had hoped to find a bungalow that was a Spanish style bungalow, but they're few and far between. And when this came on the market and it really ticked all of my other boxes, I couldn't pass it up. And now I'm just pleased as punch that I'm going to be having another English style garden again, because I very much am a believer that it needs to match the style of the house.
Well, yeah, you said to me the other day that the garden matches the house. And
the garden matches the house.
And had you got a different house, it would be a different garden.
It would be a different kind of garden. And would I like to have a Spanish garden too? Yes. But my pockets are only so deep, and I only have so much time. So this mound of brick will be relayed alongside the sidewalk going up to the front, and then there'll also be a couple of little entry points into these flower beds that will have some brick on them also. So there will be a couple of, let's say, brick throw rugs that I will have as portals into this planting area. And I'm pretty excited about that. Now the remaining flagstone, and there'll probably be a little bit more to come, but there will be some flagstone and brick.
All right, let me get around to you.
That will.
I spend my whole day just spinning around.
Just spinning around. I'm sorry, Stuart.
No,
I'm not moving
I
too
wasn't
fast.
complaining at all.
Okay.
I was just stating.
So there's going to be a boxwood hedge here, and then there'll be another mirrored boxwood hedge on the other side. And on this side, on the north side, off of the porch, from about that juncture right there where it begins to curve, there will be flagstone pavers that go around to the side of the house, because that's a walkway. I think I have showed it before where I've got some more pots. And I am so ready to get these container plantings done and really be a pot wrangler and get them into place, because they're kind of starting to, drive me crazy just not being staged.
Yeah.
Patience is not one of my virtues.
Not designed yet.
again, I keep saying the red buds are coming out, but it's been at the beginning, I think it maybe was a cooler than average March, which I'm all about, though I hear next week we might get up to close to 90.
Jeez.
So I have some concerns about that, but that's okay, because things that typically, like the azaleas and some other blooming, say flowering trees, fruit trees and such, that often are nipped by a late freeze, hopefully they're just now starting to bud out and leaf out so they won't get nipped. I did, and I should have my pruners with me, Stuart, but I'm not very organized. In my excitement and anticipation over the truck coming, I'm not very organized.
What a cool thought, to the first day you'll be able to just go out with your pruners and not think about like anything new going in.
Yeah.
And just work on what exists. That'll be a fun day.
Well, that might be a sad day too, because I always look forward to something new going in.
Well, I mean,
but it's not only just the new things going in, it's the new spots and the new orientation and the new look it gives to the cottage. Each time something is added, it changes the overall look and perspective of the cottage, depending on which direction you're coming from.
That's true.
So for me, that's very, very, very exciting, and I think it's kind of exciting for the neighbors too, as they see the changes that take place. The other fun thing, Stuart, is once these Southern Living plants arrive and the azaleas arrive and we get the dirt work done, once the dirt work's done, it's going to be almost like instant landscape. Mm-hmm. Exactly the opposite of my other house.
Yeah.
Which took a long time. Now I'm still going to be moving plants around and deciding what goes where and changing my mind, because you guys know I change my mind.
What?
But that's my prerogative as a gardener. And I'll continue to change my mind. But that will be the evolution of the gardening, and also an expression of my theory of garden relativity, and that's that every one thing in the garden relates to every other thing. And that's the design part of gardening that's my very favorite. Now, I answered a couple of questions today. Oh, some of you wanted to know about this big mound of gravel here still. Some of this actually may be used to top dress some of my plants. Some of it may be used as infill and underneath the remaining pavers. I'm still kind of thinking about it, but rather than an organic mulch that will break down over time, I'm thinking about some kind of gravel mulch. I'm also going to be using some of this as a soil amendment when I plant things like lilies or anything that needs exceptional drainage. This kind of grit is really good to add into the soil to enhance drainage. So I feel fairly confident that we'll be able to put all of this gravel to use. So I think I've answered a number of questions today, but your big chance to ask me questions and get an immediate answer is this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock. We're going to do a Lindewater live. Be there or be square, and you'll have the opportunity to ask me, and I guess Stuart, if you like, ask us some questions about, this will be your chance, because I haven't really talked about it too much, how I feel about moving from the house if I miss it, how I feel about some of the changes that are being making there, if I felt at all homesick, just a little bit more of an emotional backstory into kind of how I feel about all of that. But I hope it's been very obvious that overall there have been no regrets. I am absolutely thrilled. Every day I am more and more thrilled by living here and building a garden at the little cottage on the hill.